I want to talk to you about the Buster phenomena. Now, you're asking yourself, who is Buster? Buster is my Jack Russell Terrier. You've heard about Jack Russells. They're known to be Jack Russell terrorists. Buster, because he's a dog, does not have a cortex. What differentiates Buster from you and I is we have a cortex, which means we have the ability to reason. Let me give you an illustration, and this is something anybody, any day at work encounters when you're dealing with people behaving poorly or you're dealing with difficult people. We often get into a reactive stance. So let's go back to Buster. Buster sees a squirrel across the street in the park. He will throw his little 12-pound body in front of a 1,200-pound oncoming vehicle. Now, you and I have the ability to reason. So Buster's a stimulus response kind of guy. See a squirrel, run, chase, get it. You and I, when we're dealing with that difficult person at work, you and I can set boundaries with them by avoiding that reactive stance of stimulus response. You know how many times in my work I've heard people say, well, they said that to me, so I said it back to them. Remember, the pig loves it when you get in the mud and get dirty with them. So your goal is to maintain, stay centered, and not provide that reactive behavior. And just because that tit for tat, they do a knee to me, I do a knee back. You have to avoid going on automatic. So stay centered. Sometimes it means, first, I pretend that I didn't even hear what they just said. They just said to me, do you really know what you're doing here? I'm going to choose to sort that and ignore it. And I'm going to stay focused on the issue. Do you know sometimes people get into that reactive stance? They even forget what they were standing there talking about. So you want to choose to sort out and ignore insults. You want to stay and maintain centered. You do not want to be reactive. If you start feeling yourself being reactive, here's a last tip I have for you. It's okay to go to the balcony. That's what I call it. It's okay to take a time out. You know what? Right now is not a good time for me. I can see this as an important issue to both of us. Let's meet in 15 minutes for coffee and talk about this more. So those are some tips on how to avoid the Buster phenomena. Don't be a stimulus response kind of person.